Hey everyone, welcome to Morethanmeetstheseguys. We are continuing in the UK Marvel books. Well, the Marvel UK versions of the American stories here with the debuting of Devastator. And with me is Boo at the AccentUnground.com.
Howdy.
Yeah, and we are getting into it, and we've taken a couple weeks off of the regular books. There's been so much stuff going on between Skybound stuff, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. No, not news stories.
Right.
Uh,
I love that we're at a point in time when there's like a glut of Transformers media.
yeah, it's really nice. In the kind of Transformers media, I know I appreciate all kinds of different Transformers media. I know you do too. I'm kind of happy that the Michael Bay kind of stuff has kind of petered out for now, and we're going back to more classic styles. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that.
Until the next movie.
Well, yeah, there's that. I don't know though. With that TF1, I mean, that was definitely not.
Oh yeah, that was very G1
Yeah.
inspired.
Yes, which fantastic. But we have Dawn of the Devastator, and good looking cover. Honestly, the colors are still kind of shoddy, but it's pretty good for an American cover.
Well, yeah. I would say that's an American cover is why.
Yeah, yeah. I
And so this one was done by Kyle Baker.
feel like we've talked to him about him before. Maybe not.
Yeah, and he's also a multiple time award winner of the Eisner, Harvey, and Glyph Awards, who's worked on many titles for like all major comics publishers. And we covered him previously on the podcast for number 26,
Okay.
UK
I mean,
26, yeah.
looking at the pencils in the shadows, actually, they're really good.
Yes.
You can see a lot of almost you can see like a metal sheen on Devastator's fist and arm,
Hmm.
which you don't usually get that. And like the way the inking off the pencils is done on some of these other bots, the way it has slight shadows compared to harder shadows, it makes it look like there's metallic surfaces reflecting a bit.
Right. Yeah, this is definitely a more metallic looking cover.
So a really cool job. God, look at Prowl. I
Oh,
feel
I
like
know.
I feel like Prowl should have one of the what is the yell that's used in a lot of Star Wars things when someone falls down a pit?
Oh, the Wilhelm scream.
Wilhelm scream. Ah, ha, ha.
Yeah. Is that Prowl or is it Blue Streak?
I think it's Prowl. That might be Blue Streak, dude. I don't know. He's like all dark. He has like a silvery white leg and a silvery white arm,
I
and
know. There's
the
not enough to
red.
tell, right?
There's not. You can tell that's Hound down there. There's Huffer, obviously.
If
There's
it is
Sound
Blue
Wizard.
Streak, he would still be talking.
You're not wrong. So it's probably Prowl. Man, Bumblebee looks tall. They drew him
Yeah,
real big because there's
there, there,
Ironhide.
there's some funny
Yeah,
stuff
there
with
are.
the
But I
drawings in
mean,
here.
the style of the art's really nice though.
Yeah,
So
and
appreciate
our
that.
corner box continues the Optimus
Hmm.
transformation from the frames of the early commercial.
Yeah,
So
and
we're
actually,
still doing that.
he kind of has this I don't know, kind of Superman pose thing going on, like he's flying with his arms out.
Yeah,
Obviously, that's him transforming and jumping through the air and turning into robot mode. But it looks really neat. It looks very superhero pose.
yeah,
But
he's showing off.
oh, he is. Oh, yeah, he
Hey
is.
kids, buy me.
Yeah, exactly. So they are going to go in this issue. We're going to talk about Robot Wars number 2. So we're going to get everyone caught up to where the story is. Like
Right.
what was the issue? What issue is that where they had a Robot Wars 1?
Was it? I'm trying to
Can't
think.
remember. Basically gives you a couple pages spread, two,
Yeah.
3 pages spread of like all the stories up to here.
Oh,
So
that was issue 22.
okay, I knew it was a pretty it wasn't that far back, but I guess almost halfway.
I was thinking it was 22, but I wasn't sure. I like to make sure.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Robot War 2, we're gonna have that. The the next best thing to be in there. This the title of the story kills me.
Oh yeah. Well,
Um,
Soundwaves, we have some interesting stuff going on in
yeah,
there.
we do. There's some sycophancy going on in sound waves. Uh,
They're learning to kiss up to the
they are.
Decepticon in
That's what I'm saying.
charge.
There's some major chassis kissing there. Um,
Yeah. So we have Jonathan in there, and he is Jonathn with like periods, and
periods.
he claims to be a robot.
Yeah, he's just an ordinary computer and no way compares to the magnificent collection of transistors such as yourself, to Soundwave. And yeah, Soundwave, he's like, believe it or not, the art and the writing in this issue was done, our graphics in this issue is done by humans. I am, however, examining methods of replacing them with more sophisticated system.
So
Wait,
see,
what?
they were calling out AI art even back then.
Already, already.
And then on the page before with the transformation and the robo
Hmm.
capers,
Yeah,
you know, we have this poor guy, I guess Zaponian or someone. He doesn't really look like a Zaponian, but
who knows?
anyway, he comes out, he's got green splotches all over his face. And he asks, is that a disease? And he says, nope. And the other guy said, well, is it some zany new fashion? He goes, don't be daft. He goes, the decorator robot has flipped his cogs again.
And there's this red robot, and he's got like the pail over one arm. He's got like a beret or something that's flying up in the air, and he's got paintbrushes and stuff. So
Yeah, and it looks like rubber boots.
it kind of does. He's got as the Brits would say, he's got wellies on.
Yeah, so this is like the dangers of AI art expressed here,
Everyone's gonna get it painted on.
right?
Oh
Those
man,
AIs can just go off the rocker and paint everybody.
yeah. Um, gosh, yeah. There's some more. Whoops, I lost my train here. There's other little things in here. Someone's calling him his favorite Decepticon. Soundwave. There's a poem. I'm sorry, a little
Oh,
something about
yeah.
favorite Decepticon.
Oh, yes. Tony Coleman wrote that one.
Yes. Soundwave the Mighty, trampling through Rebel, blasting all the Autobots and causing lots of trouble. Jazz trembles at his power-packed gun, and Sideswipe doesn't hesitate to turn around and run. His sensors pick up an Autobot coming very near, and he starts to run away. Soundwave blasts him in the rear. So, very good from Birmingham, Tony
Yes.
Coleman, lyrical
And
poet.
yeah, Soundwave applauded that one. And
Well, yeah, it's
I think it's
magnificent.
one of the few times you see him compliment a carbon-based unit.
It's magnificent, fantastic. I'm recommending that this superb piece of prose be included in every Decepticon's compulsory reading list. Well done, carbon-based unit. uh,
I could see Rumble carving that into like a bathroom stall wall.
yeah, God, yeah, he'd be there with like the what was it, like a little penknife doing it,
Oh yeah.
scraping it off. So yeah, there's the next guy, Dominic Archer, talking about he only has issues 24 through 30, and the story is really easy to follow. If he only gotten two issues before that, he would have had everything leading up to that. He would have had the whole story, but here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're asking about Guardian if Guardian is reprogrammed by the Decepticons and now is trying to destroy Autobots, recognizing by the Autobots insignia. Why has he not self-destructed? Because he has his own Autobot badge. Very nice catch there, Dominic. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
and Soundwave said they left it on there as a joke.
yeah. But so naturally, it's taking into account when we phrase that in the precise details of his program.
And he's asking about the
Oh,
cone heads, when are they
yeah.
gonna show up?
Third thrust to Ramjo. They have no plans right now. Sorry, when I keep running my nose, the hair's got longer and I keep having stray hairs. I'm not really good at pulling it back yet, so I'm like catching hairs on my face.
Yeah, you're right at that edge.
Yeah, it's yes, yes. I'm at the edge of being able to put it back real well. So Ryan would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I have just bought issue 32 of your comic, but and the end of the Transformers story had me virtually in tears. So that's all. They were Swoop goes and carries the bomb off, and
Yeah.
takes so the arc doesn't blow up, and it's actually not the bomb. It takes Guardian off.
Well, Guardian was the bomb,
Well, he was
so
the bomb. Yes, he takes Guardian off and drops.
Guardian's the bomb, man.
He was, and then he went off. The it, like brings on tears. He like Soundwave is doing this is having such a good time. Now I understand. I have discovered the Earth expression, I laughed until I cried. I can appreciate the humor.
That's so funny.
Dude. This kid's like, it brought me to tears. It was such a sad ending. He's like, oh yeah, yeah, I too laughed until I cried. Next guy, which is Alexander Grimes, he just started collecting at issue number 28. So he's trying to understand the whole transformation of losing their wheels when they turned into robots. Man, look, this kid he's got to understand that you got to sell some of those models, man.
Right,
If you read earlier issues, you would have seen the wheels everywhere, hanging off stuff.
right.
So there's that. Um, so yeah, also in the last one, Alexander Caminelli from Wembley. He collects both Secret Wars and Transformers. And just like Scott Mann and other readers, I've collected comics the comics since around issue 22. While I was reading Robot War feature, I noticed that Spider-Man aided the Autobots. So Spider-Man is on the Beyonders planet in Secret War. So how could they have helped him? Yeah. Yeah, where Soundwave usually does the about Autobots. He does that
Right.
about Spider-Man.
Yeah, he spits on Spider-Man's name.
Yeah, apparently he says, well, obviously the events depicted took place before Spider-Man chose to interfere in our battle with the Autobots, which he did because he has his black costume.
Right. He's wearing
So,
the alien symbiote.
yep. So actually, that actually makes a lot of sense. And this dude, what's this, Luke Miller? It
Yeah.
make he does a drawing Megatron's back, and it's literally Megatron's back.
He's
Well, kind
got
of,
jokes.
yeah, yeah, he has that. Well, hey, you got printed, man. You got a free toy coming. Unlike
Right.
us American readers. Yeah, and then we
We
go
got
into the Robot War
nothing.
2, and they do what was that?
Oh, I said we got nothing.
At all, nothing at all. We got frustrated trying to find issues at the local corner store or whatever.
Right. Gas
Um,
station.
yeah, and this we go right back into the Robot War 2. The war begins, and they do a really quick you know back up on the early issues, and
Hmm.
then get more into the details and the more current ones, like the Autobots come back, disintegrate the circuits, and so on. So now you know where we're at.
Right. They kind of gloss over the stuff they already covered in issue
Mhm.
22, and then they go into more detail in the ones since
Yes.
Robot War 1 was printed.
And so then we start the issue. I love the blurb at the top. The Constructicons have covertly left the Decepticon base to carry out Shockwave's orders. However, they are observed by the Autobot Bumblebee, who follows whilst radioing his fellow Autobots for assistance. But before reinforcements can arrive, the Constructicons make their first move.
Right. I
Uh,
almost wanted to go like previously on Transform.
yeah, exactly. Previously on Transformers. The cool thing about this, I was checking out my Constructicons. I realized why this is so really why they're so cool, why they still continue to be really cool figures. You look at this, this is actually about the size of a Hot Wheels.
Right.
And one of the coolest things for, I don't know, for me at least, I'm sure a lot of other kids was having construction vehicles. And construction vehicles weren't the most common, also ones with like little working shovels and everything like that. So,
Right. If
kind
it
of-
wasn't Tonka, then you weren't getting construction vehicles,
oh yeah, oh yeah,
especially not in that scale.
yeah, exactly. And like the fact that they were pretty cool figures. I mean, there's Bone Crusher. I mean, they're simple, but they're really good. Ratcheting joint stuff. Yes, they didn't move around like current figures do, but they're not bad. And of course, we have in the back your Devastator. And so you have your first combiner, and the toys themselves, the individual toys, are just really good. And the robots, well, they're not the best. I mean, they're pretty good. I mean, look at Bone Crusher has essentially like I would say elbows or shoulders. I don't know. Um, they all have pretty simple designs, but they all look really good.
Well,
Um,
and they were a departure from the normal Diaclone
oh
scale.
yeah.
They were actually going with I think it was HO scale
Hmm.
for to match Raiden.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's really neat. Like I said, it's we're saying actually I've got one of the
I would actually say the Dinobots are on that scale too, because they don't really
oh
scale with the cars as much as they scale with like those guys.
yeah, that would make a lot of sense. And yeah, actually, I'm looking at this. I'm holding the Stunticon also, and the Stunticon is a little out of out of I guess out of scale for the construction vehicles. But if you're holding like like a Hot Wheels car next to it, I mean actually there's a GoBot and
Yeah.
it's yeah it actually works out pretty well like that. They're like a Hot Wheels scale. You could have these on a Hot Wheels track and they fit right in.
Yeah.
So I was trying to realize why they well not why I think they have, but why everyone else maybe they have stayed pretty true to have construction vehicles at the Constructicons all these years. Because some of the combiner sets never really took off. But being that this is the first one, and being that this is the most unique one, I think, at least for quite a while.
Well, it seems like the most popular ones, and this is true, Transformers across the board, the most
Hmm.
popular ones are the ones that resemble real vehicles,
Hmm.
real items.
Yeah,
So, you have your Aerialbots, Stunticons, your
Combaticons.
Combaticons,
Yeah.
and your Protectobots that followed, the Constructicons. Those tend to be your most popular. And then
Yeah.
when you start getting into the more odd things, like I mean, Predacons are always popular just because they're huge,
Yeah, they were the biggest
literally.
the combiners at the time, yeah.
But like your Terracons and Technobots and
Hmm.
your Seacons, they didn't get much coverage in the cartoon.
Oh no, they had very little, like
Yeah.
very towards the end of it, actually.
Yeah, Seacons didn't get covered at all in America. And
Yes.
then, yeah, so they just weren't that popular because they didn't have the media pushing them. But
Hmm.
also, I mean, you look at the Technobots and you're like, well, what is some of this stuff?
I actually the Databots are some of my favorites just because I like the idea of like the futuristic Cybertronian modes. But that was, I like that aesthetic a lot. I liked the Terracons, but for most people it wasn't it wasn't as I guess it wasn't as widespread of a like as, the rest of them. And
Right. I mean, I like, the season three stuff too, because it
oh
was
yeah.
real sci-fi stuff. But the general appeal was
Hmm.
kind of lost on a lot of people because it's like the cars didn't really look like cars. They could be, they're space cars. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean this looks like a car. This looks like a car you play with on the playground.
right.
And I mean honestly, like, I've got a one of my several wind chargers here. I don't know how to end up with so many because I didn't have any at one point, but now I've got like three or four. Found some of my old ones. Um,
Oh, is this your
so
new one that you got?
well, yeah, one of them. Yeah, so
Yeah. Well, I
he's
know you just
still
got one in a lot recently, so
yes, this is the one. And
okay.
he's in great shape. He's nowhere up simple either. So yeah, they're all very, you know, even the mini cars are really neat. They have like some like fun playability.
Right.
And so yeah, when you get into the hunger. He's a double-headed dragon. That's cool. But I mean, really, how does that shape up against like a van with a missile
Right.
launcher?
Or, with the Combaticons, so like a tank and a
Oh
space
yeah.
shuttle, so like that. Like, what is Blot? I mean,
Dude, none of us knows what Blood is.
he's a
Look it
monster.
up.
I've assumed he's a troll because they all seem to be like kind of D&D type monsters.
Like a
But
boule,
oh yeah, yeah, like
like
Whippersnapper.
Rippersnapper.
Yeah, as a
He's a
land
land shark,
shark.
man.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's like Center Twin and Blot just leave you scratching your head.
Yeah. Well, well, I mean, Center Twin is just double-headed dragon of some sort, but so is Hunger.
Yeah,
And then you got, well,
he's got like
Cutthroat.
dog legs though. That's the
Yeah,
weird
he
thing.
does.
Yeah,
Then of course you have Cutthroat, who's just like some bird,
I
some
figured he was a rock or something.
yeah, Archaeopteryx rock sort of thing. I could see either of those.
Yeah,
And then you have the Technobots, were the phallic gun of
Scattershot.
Scattershot. Yeah, but he has a
Yeah,
cool
see,
that cool gun mode base mode thing he does is really neat. I like that.
yeah, the artillery mode was good, but
Yeah,
as a spacecraft, he's kind of slapped together.
he is. But I like there's a lot of details on Scattershot too, which I really like. The little gun emplacements and such. Like he looked like a bigger battleship.
Yeah,
With light speed's a car.
yeah.
Not a big
I
deal there.
liked Afterburner a lot. He was like
Oh
a
yeah.
Tron bike.
I love Strafe is probably my favorite because
Hmm.
he looked like a fighter, like a space fighter. And he if you ever read his tech spec, he was nuts. He'd shoot everyone on the battlefield. He didn't care.
If they'd rounded his wings, he would have looked like a Cylon Raider.
He kind of would have. There's a lot of inspiration from Battlestar Galactica here, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. So yeah, I mean, really, you get past Devastator. They're all very similar. They're that that Scramble City style combiner.
Yeah.
They're all pretty. I don't know. They're all pretty similar in that way, really. Even up to Piranacon,
Hmm.
which is probably one of my favorite combiners too. So probably I think it's because I didn't really have him or anything like it was he kind of was when I started to get out of Transformers. So you had the only other one after that who was just bonkers is Monstructor, but you
And
know,
that's another scale there
completely different
too. Yeah.
scale and lots of gold plastic.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
He's a fun
Now
one.
you know why Monstructor is so flippin' hard to get a hold of because so much gold plastic.
Oh yeah, I've got him. I
Yeah.
keep him like in bubble wrap.
He's his own little some chamber keep him in, and just no light touches him and no moisture touches him. He just stays where he is.
Oh yeah, him and like Mirage has a separate chamber too with bubble wrap and foam because
Yeah,
that
yeah,
little pin. Mine's
yeah.
still intact, knock on wood.
I have
So
one intact. I have a couple that are broken in the middle. One that I just got recently that was really nice. I need to get him repaired. Anyway, he was like perfect. But you know, that's one of the fun things about Transformer stuff is now we get to learn how to repair them. Like I've shown you. I'll start documenting this for my own little episode. Is I got a like a what was like a basically a second run pre-rub sign blue streak.
yeah.
He's missing a door and he's missing his canopy on the car. So if I can get hold another canopy and another door, that'll be in great shape.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you become a toy collector over long term, you have to start learning how to like maintain the
Yeah,
toys. They always said like this plastic would last like 700 years, but you find out that is not the case.
depends on the makeup and the chemical makeup of their plastic, but yeah, and like
I
it
don't
may
think these plastics have been around long enough for them to really know. They
no, they
just gave
haven't.
some really good estimates.
I think the big thing is they're looking at how long it takes for these chemicals to break down, like half lives of these different chemicals. But the thing is the plastic will start getting brittle and breaking apart. Now it won't become whatever it will become 7 years from
Sludge
now.
or whatever.
Yeah, but it's definitely breaking down in its own way.
They become brittle, and then like I know like He-Man figures get like sticky.
They do.
Yeah, they're leaking the plasticizer out of them. You got to clean them off, or they become just a mess.
You have like Moss Man who looks like he's got alopecia, and I mean it's all kinds of weird stuff going on with
Oh
these
yeah.
figures.
Oh, don't even get me started on the flocking like on Panther and stuff. Or
Oh God, I can't
yeah,
even imagine that. And then of course we have we've learned from the Beast era, the vacuum seal chrome just starts flaking off in some of these.
oh yeah. I've got two rat traps that needs to just be redone.
Yeah, if there was only a way to do that easily from the house, I'd be all about that stuff.
Yeah,
But let's get into the story, man. We could talk about being old guys and collecting stuff for
right.
forever. Um,
Like, oh yeah, comic books.
yeah, that's the thing we're doing. So, man, all right, first panel, we see remembered Bessie, Bomber Bill's truck.
Oh yeah,
And scavengers like talking about like how Shockwave spoke accurately. They're plentiful materials in our vicinity, which their materials are other vehicles and stuff.
they are not being gentle. Those
No,
trucks either.
they are just heaving them and hoeing them over into long haul.
Hmm.
Like Hook's got one on a hook. Scavenger's got another one. He's just throwing in. Like there's a Scrapper in the foreground, pulling, grabbing one also with his steam shovel.
Yeah, it
And
looks
they're just,
like Longhaul's just running into Bessie.
oh yeah, he just doesn't even care.
Yeah,
It's kind of how the Stunticons are portrayed when they first show up in the Sunbow cartoon. They don't. There's nothing matters to them. They're gonna just destroy everything.
right.
Even the diner,
Oh yeah,
the
they start
cafe.
tearing the diner apart too.
Yep. And everyone starts screaming, running away, except for the hero of our story, Bomber Bill.
Who is built like Macho Man Randy Savage right now. I mean,
Okay, yes and no. On that second panel up there, he looks rather. I'll say dumpy. That last panel, he just hulks out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, his gut disappears and he's just got massive He-Man arms. He's ready to
He
go.
does.
And you know what it is?
What's
Is
that?
the first panel, that's the original Bomber Bill. And
Yeah.
the bottom one is the Power of the Force Bomber Bill.
There you go. Man, I still come across some of those figures I picked up years ago. Like, what reason is Luke looking like He-Man? There's no reason for it.
Right. Stone Cold Luke Skywalker. It's like, what?
Han Solo with the face is like, ooh, and
Right.
this huge face. And Leia. Anyways,
Yeah, they're playing fast and loose with the figures there.
they were trying to get those things out, and people are like, yes, I'll take them all. Thank you. I'll take a case of each of them.
Oh yeah, people were like going crazy for them because there hadn't been Star Wars toys on the market in ages.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the last figures in the market were from droids, and they were kind of goofy. They're a little cartoony.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to this.
Oh
Yes.
wait, one more thing. Speaking of droids,
Hmm.
I was actually looking through some stuff on droids, which has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about now,
Nope.
except that you mentioned it. But
Welcome.
there is a character in droids named Kybo Ren. You
What
hear
does he
me?
do? What does he like?
He's like just some kind of space criminal. But yeah, it's spelled just like
Ibo.
Kylo Ren, but with a B instead of the L. And I'm like, wow.
Come on,
So
guys.
I know. It's like, so when they named Kylo Ren, they didn't like run across that guy's name at all. Seriously.
Somebody's like, I love this character. I wish he got his own like series. We need a name.
He looks like a pots and
Kylo
pan.
Ren.
He looks like a pots and pans Genghis Khan.
That's what Kybo Ren looks like?
Yeah. Here, I'll send you a picture. I've got a picture right here.
Perfect. I can't wait. And yes, everyone, I will put this, if you're listening, I'll put this in the YouTube. Whoops, there, I'm going to kick my camera. I will put this in the YouTube so everyone can see what we're talking about because,
There's the Kybo Ren.
oh God.
Yeah.
Wow. He does.
See, that's no Adam Driver. So
Definitely no. Yes. Well, I'm going to leave
it's
that.
just odd that that name is that similar. You can't tell me that's a coincidence.
No, it's not. Absolutely not. So, next page though, we got Bomber Bill. He's like running through the underbrush, trying to get to get someone's attention. And the first panel, he looks like he's grabbing like a boulder because his arms are like flexing. He's like got his hands around this boulder.
Right, I thought he was gonna like make a landslide to like get someone's attention. He's about to huck a rock at an Autobot.
Yeah. No. He's like he sees all these lights coming. He's like, oh, there's lights coming towards me. I better. And it's like what Hound. There's Ratchet. There's Blue Streak, Sideswipe, and they are all speeding past him on Ironhide. Wait a second. He says they say Ironhide, but he's not listed here. I wonder if that Ratchet was supposed to be Ironhide. It was.
Of course, yeah, because
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no light bar, and
No. And I
it
don't even
doesn't really
see
mention Jazz, but Jazz is drawn there.
yeah. I don't even see tires on Ironhide. They were very fast and loose in that
He,
picture.
he's his hover mode.
It looks like it.
Yeah,
So yeah, they're speeding down there, and he's the Bomber Bill's right there. Whoa, slow down! You're going my way. But they ignore him because they have things to do. And yeah, when he say like, you think one of those misbegotten jalapa drivers would have? And then he runs out in the road because here comes Huffer, and he's like, I'm not getting out of the way for this one. I'm gonna jump in front of it, and
yeah,
they
he plays chicken.
have to run over me first. And Huffer's like, "Hey, human, you jeopardize your safety." It's a little screed from his, sliding into like not try not to hit Bomber Bill. Bomber Bill gets in there and he's looking for someone who's talking to him. Doesn't see anyone. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I am Huffer. You sit within me." Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, you know what that reminds me of, right?
what?
Noah and Mirage in Rise of the Beast. Co-worker, you were inside me.
Yeah. Oh God. Um. So little play, exchange pleasantries. The bomber bill gets a ride, and so back to the Constructicons. They are at the top of the mountain, and that's where they have they're gonna. Here's the deep radio space radio telescope. But it's sitting up there in this little like it almost looks like a power station. Like there's not much else there besides a radar dish and a little substation.
Yeah.
Um, and you've seen like radio telescopes. They generally have a facility with them, not a little outhouse looking thing. So
This is that Reagan budget. They're still waiting for that money to trickle down to them.
they're spending it all on Star Wars.
Reaganomics.
It'll trickle down, guys. Just wait 40 years.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Anyway, so the top of the mountain, they've got all their materials, and they're going to start modifying the space radio telescope to for their usage. And there's Soundwave is in riding in a long haul and jumps out and transforms, and he's got that very purple, Transformers, Marvel Transformers look.
Yeah, he's back to his purple colors. He was
Yeah,
blue a while back,
yeah,
but
he
now he's
was.
purple again.
And he wants the Constructicons to keep an eye on, don't let there be any interference because their work cannot be interrupted. So let's see. Oh, I'm sorry that I misunderstood what I was saying. I'm sorry. I read this a couple weeks ago in preparation, but we had so much coming up.
Hmm.
So they're basically I think it's like Bone Crusher wants to like start melting bodies and beating people up, shooting things. He's like, whoa, 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 Mixmaster, first I will broadcast an interference field to prevent anyone from detecting our presence.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go up here, we're gonna be stealth.
He's
So
setting up a jamming zone.
yeah, we're gonna do this so that we can work in peace.
Nobody's gonna call the cops.
Yeah. And it continues the next page where they're building. It's funny though. I think it's Bone Crusher. He's holding like a piece of like scrap metal. It
Hmm.
almost looks like he's holding a piece of like some blueprints, and his hands like shaking his fist.
Right.
But they're just crushing up the other trucks and the materials out of the back of Long Haul and trying to form them into this super massive radio telescope.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because it shows like what role each Constructicon plays
Yeah,
in their team.
yeah. I kind of does. They're you have yeah, Bone Crusher and Bone Crusher's like basically he's beating things up, ripping things apart.
Yeah, he's shredding it.
Yeah, Mixmaster looks like he's breaking it down, helping like mold it into the right parts. And you have Scrapper behind him. He's helping form the parts right, and they have, I guess as Hook kind of like he's
Hook's
kind of
kind
like
of miscolored.
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But they try to give them all their duties, and it's kind of cool. It's almost like they're like a little construction team with their own kind of niches.
Yeah, and scavengers out scouting
Yeah,
for alloys or stuff in the ground that they might need to add to what they're working on if they
yeah,
don't have exactly what they need. Looking for ores.
yeah, which is smart.
Yeah. So
Um,
yeah, they each have like their own little role they play.
yeah,
So
and
this is when they're at their best.
yes, yes, yes. They're well, even in the Sumbo show, whenever they wanted to do something, just build something cool, they would go off and do it. They worked with a hoist and grapple until Megatron found out. Then they kind of waylaid, but
And
they
they
just
started rebuilding all of New York and City of Steel.
they did. They were very efficient at it too.
Yeah, and the core too. They were building stuff, and
Yeah,
so
so you know,
that's what they do best,
yeah.
right
Well,
there.
I mean, Devastator's kind of it's just it's kind of their gimmick, but this is what they do best.
Yeah, yeah. This is their peak, and
Mhm.
this is the peak of the bell curve here for 'em.
Which considering it's kind of funny, considering Devastator is kind of a big dumb brute. Separately, they're actually a really good team, and they're very efficient.
Yeah, they lose a lot when they combine. We'll see more about that in a bit.
Oh yeah, and the Autobots are driving up, and Bumblebees are waiting for him because he's the one that radioed originally, like, "Hey, something's going on up here." Um, and there's our boy Bomber Bill leaning out of a huffer, but and it's kind of hard not to notice the big a giant pipe fitted radio telescope thingy that is all hooked into sound wave.
I put that he's connected to a giant metal sea anemone.
He kind of is.
Yeah,
That's a great way to put it. He's all like, he's got all this like wires coming out of his chest. His chest is open. Which this is actually, I think, a Soundwave at his kind of his peak of what he does best.
yeah.
It's kind of him just being, he's being the smartest guy in the room. He's being the, I guess, yeah, he's being the backbone of the entire operation, which
Well,
is
he
what,
shows his leadership qualities here because,
yeah,
he's in charge. He's letting them do their work. He's not micromanaging them. He's doing his thing and then, keeping everything jammed.
yeah, and he's they Autobots all kind of roll up and that's when Soundwave sees him. He's like, how'd they find us? And the Autobots are going to destroy the big radio telescope, and that's when Soundwave is like, no, we can't let them interfere, because Retcons combine, and that's when we first see our friend Devastator, or if in Ed's terminology, Devastor.
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 And the transformations look kind of odd in this issue because it looks like
Mhm.
everyone just kind of stands up out of their alt modes.
They are. They
Yeah,
really are.
they look like they're spring loaded almost.
They're jump starters.
Yeah, and Bumblebee is very sleek looking there
He
with his
is
transformation.
very son. It almost I don't know. Yeah, he just looks
It's
very
almost
odd.
like they drew Prowl twice.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Except, yeah, they didn't even put a head on Bumblebee in that picture. Huh. And they make Devastator look almost like a like I don't know,
He's
like
blockies.
a Lego combined, yeah, blockies. There you go. Which apparently they're doing that, so that'd be kind of interesting to see that.
See, perfect timing for this issue.
Right, there you go. See, we're hey, blockies, we're out here if you want to sponsor.
Right?
I'll put it right here in the foreground so everyone can see how cool it is. But so they form into Devastator. And Bomber Bill's I guess he's trying to wrap his head around what's going on. He's like, Ethel must have started a spike in her coffee. I don't believe I'm eyeballing this. And they
I
left.
need some more no-dos.
Yeah. It's more trucker drugs. Don't kids don't do that. So he finds Bessie though. Bessie's just there.
Yeah, she didn't get beat up by Bone Crusher yet.
Not yet. It's coming. So these overgrown Tinker Toys can play King of the Hill all they want. I'm burning rubber out of here.
That's all he wants. He wants his truck so he can go home.
It's Bessie, and he's got his name on the side of it. He's Bomber Bill.
You know what? He's the Han Solo here. He's here for the Millennium Falcon and he's out.
That's actually a very accurate way to put it, considering what he does. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I want to cut it off here this week. We're gonna try a little experiment to cut these episodes a little shorter, so maybe they're easier to digest. So this is just gonna be the issue number 36, part one, and then we'll have part two on. I'm gonna try to do it later in the week, but I feel like we've gotten to the point where our episodes are way too long. They're so long that I have trouble devoting an hour to something I'm watching unless I really have a lot and with it. So I think doing these 30 to 45 minute segments are going to be better. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you agree or not. Just leave some comments. Email the show at morethanmeetstheseguys@gmail.com. Feel free to join the Discord and say, hey, is this a good idea? Or do you like watching a feature length movies worth of an episode? It's just something I want to check out, see how it plays. And thanks so much for being here. Give us a like, give us a follow, and share it with friends. And that's how we're doing it on this very small, um, I would call it grassroots, but I don't even know if there's roots. So we're just gonna do this the way we keep doing it, and thank you everyone for being here, and thank you everyone for your patronage and watching us and following us. So thanks everyone. Have a great day. Bye. More Morethanmeetstheseguys, a Transformers podcast, is performed by Evan Johns, Boo of the AxelonUnderground.com, and Ed Strickland. Research is done by Evan Johns, Boo of the AxelonUnderground.com, and Ed Strickland. Special thanks to Hasbro, Marvel, Skybound, and the occasional extra property which we will name at whatever time is appropriate for that episode. And without all of you, this is really not even possible. So thanks for being here, and thanks for checking us out every week. Goodbye.